Development Show. And today we have a very hot topic that's been sweeping across the country in terms of public school libraries and how a lot of families and parents have been looking to ban certain books from these school libraries due to the content that's within many of these books. Now, a little while ago, there was a Twitter feed about these topics, and I was happy. I happened to be involved in reading some of the material on that, and eventually, what happened? It disappeared. All of a sudden, that account was suspended. So they always say when you're having things going on where there's some truth and some facts come into the surface, sometimes the higher ups seem to want to block and delete and get rid of that and have your focus attention on something else besides things as important as that. So we're going to tackle and go right into this topic, and I'm hoping the audience today, could you please give us some feedback as we go forward and talk about this topic today. So I'm going to start right off the top. I pulled an article from the Washington Post that was covering some of the information in terms of school library books being where families want to ban certain books due to the content. So this article, it says, it talks about the debate being stretched from board meetings to the halls of Congress. And some of the recent hold on a second. So the American Library Association has tracked 729 attempts to remove library, school, and university materials last year, leading to 1,597 book challenges or removals of these books. So we can see there definitely have been, this has not been something that's been just coming up within this year. This has been something that's been going on within the past year or so, where families and things of that nature, certain educators are standing up to wanting to make a change in terms of the material and content of library books that our kids are exposed to, especially when we talk about elementary, middle school libraries. So, yes. So some of the challenges in the article that they talk about are challenges involved with dealing with race, sexuality, or gender that may come from conservatives. But they also mention in the article that liberals have also challenged such books, such as, for example, To Kill a Mockingbird and Huckleberry Finn, which are classics that I personally have read myself when I was in grade school. And these two books in particular, they were stating in the article that saying that they use racist language and character stereotypes. And that recently a Tennessee school district removed a book about the Holocaust from a school library. So as we can see, those are some of the things when we talk about the different dynamics of how children in today's elementary, middle, and high school levels all struggle with, dealing with sexual identity and identity crisis and things of that nature. We can see that a lot of the times they're walking right into the libraries and they are able to be exposed to content that probably should not be in those school libraries. So another example that's here in the excerpts from one here is To Kill a Mockingbird is another one. And they said the book is about, it was published in the 1960s, of course, and it's set in a fictional Alabama town during the Great Depression. White attorney Atticus Finch defends a black man who was falsely accused of raping a white woman. Finch faced down community pressure and mobs set on lynching his client. The story weaves a legal drama with the coming-of-age story of Finch's young daughter, Scout, who learns about acting with empathy and justice in a community beset by racism and prejudice. This novel won a 1961 Pulitzer Prize for fiction. So why have critics object to this particular book as one of the books that they're critiquing? So unlike other texts, one of the typical challenges the article notes from the left is critics deride its use of racial slurs, including the N-word, as well as the sensuality of a savior character, Atticus Finch, right? They say that Finch tolerates much racism in the community and that, in general, the novel depicts a world in which racism is the norm. So, the excerpt also continues to state, like, why reasonable people go stark and raving mad when something that involves a Negro comes up is something that people don't want to pretend or to not understand. You know, so, I mean, even with today's time, we see that there is a lot of underlying racism, some are more hidden, more subtle. But I mean, this is a book, this is another example from the article from the Washington Post that includes the idea of To Kill a Mockingbird, which has been polarized over many decades and generations and taught, you know, and used as a book of a subject matter to have students learn and explore reading in that domain. So, I mean, it's very, it's been one of those books that's been on the platform for a very long time. So now when you look at it from the perspective of the scope of today and the things that we deal with today in terms of what we want kids exposed to, in terms of their educational endeavors, what we want kids to experience in terms of what their academic progress is. We see many of these books have definitely have derogatory terms and things that are derogatory in terms of a cultural standpoint for a lot of different students of color. But these books continue to be put forth as the main, some of this, in some situations, the main learning material for our kids to try to nurture their minds from. So To Kill a Mockingbird, I mean, it was, the article says one place it was banned was Burbank, California, the Unified School District in 2020. So To Kill a Mockingbird was banned in that district. And I mean, when you think about it, using the use of racial slurs and things of that nature is definitely nothing that is positive or anything in that nature. There's nothing good about having racial slurs used as an example to teach kids how to or to enhance their minds, especially in the climate of today's world where a lot of that, there's no tolerance now for a lot of that behavior, a lot of those kind of epithets of words use in terms of racial slurs and things like that. So the country has definitely gone in a different direction in terms of those kind of things. So that's one example they gave in the Washington Post about one of the books that they're talking about that were, you know, banning and things like that. Another one that they talked about was was a book called The New Kid by Jerry Craft that has in the article, right? And they're saying that this is a graphic novel that follows 12-year-old Jordan Banks, an African-American from Washington Heights in Manhattan, as begins 7th grade at a prestigious and wealthy Riverdale Academy day school. Navigating the typical anxieties of middle school topic of extra pressure of being one of the few students of color. Teachers mix up one Black student with another. Stereotypes run rampant, and students on financial aid are sometimes identified as such. His new classmate of the character takes luxury vacations and label pink shorts salmon. Meanwhile, at home in his Black and Hispanic neighborhood, Jordan tries to stay connected to his roots. So I know in a lot of sense we see with such a book as this where that is the dynamic of things. Like you have middle school, this is a middle school kid. He's one of the few students of color. Of course, I've gone through that where I've been mixed up with coworkers, and I'm 6'5", dark skin, and my coworker is 6'7", light skin, totally light skin. And I will still have me mixed up with him. I mean, and he's bald headed and I'm not. Like it's just so over the top ridiculous. Like, I mean, I can't see how you could have it be where you make a mistake of who I am with him when we're totally different people. He's bald headed, I'm not. I wear glasses, he doesn't. He's light skinned, I'm dark skinned. But they'll still, hey, mister, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I mixed you up with, no, we don't look the same. All Black people don't look the same. I think that's one of the things, I mean, so that part of it, I can personally understand because I've had that situation happen with me in terms of identity of myself being mistaken with the identity of another person of color who totally doesn't even look like me. So I could see that. So in this article, they also have why are critics objecting to this story, right? In the article, they mentioned that a petition last fall was signed by some 400 parents alleging that the book was wrought with critical race theory, which holds that systemic racism is woven into this country's institutions. The critics allege that the book teaches children that white privilege comes from microaggressions that should be kept in check. The objections prompted to a school district temporarily to pull new kid from school libraries and to cancel an event with the author. The online event was later rescheduled. So, I mean, that's what critics were objecting to in this situation in the Washington Post, this particular book, right? So when we talk about that, of course, what comes to mind when they automatically go to critical race theory, right? Discussing critical race theory and things of that nature. And of course, you know, a lot of people are extremely sensitive to any kind of talk about critical race theory and on any level, and feels in a lot of terms that it's some kind of way of degrading people in a certain way, when in fact it's just teaching about the facts of things that really happened. I mean, you can go into the history books and things like that, and you will see like a lot of information that is definitely not true. Like, I mean, I remember growing up being taught in middle school and elementary school about, you know, hey, Christopher Columbus discovered America. And he came here and he joined and saw the Indians and he discovered it. And he said, Plymouth Rock didn't land on me. We landed on Plymouth Rock and all this other stuff.
I'm sorry, man. I'm busting out laughing because I remember that and Christopher Columbus discovering America. And I'm sitting there like, how did he discover something that was already here?
Exactly.
It was already
Like
here. But hold on. It's okay until you name it. But I mean, is that really critical race theory? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what is what in today because they put new definitions on everything. I'm scared. I'm scared to even quote on anything. You the educator. I'm leaving you alone. Bye. Oh, by the way, if you want to call in, the call-in number is 1-202-684-6955. 6955. That's 1-202-684-6955. It's on the little flyer thingy and where you're looking at the show. So enjoy. Back to your I'm trying to decide how I'm gonna say this. Plymouth Rock. Get a piece of the rock.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I mean, that's always been a difficult topic for a lot of folks in terms of when you talk about critical race theory and things of that nature. So that is the reason, in terms of this particular book that they talk about, it's called The New Kid by Jerry Craft. And it, brings up, I guess parents were just, very upset about, they felt it was wrought with critical race theory. And, I mean, when we talk about systemic racism, those things are real things. Those are real items that do exist within our country and the fabric of not just education, but in other aspects too. So, I mean, it's always good to be able to share a platform and be able to talk about a lot of these different things, because when you have dialogue, then you're able to open up other people's perspectives and eyes about things and things like that. So that's what they were talking about, Washington Post, about this particular book. Of course, and I did mention that they had canceled an event with the author, but it was rescheduled at some point.
It was rescheduled, huh? It was rescheduled. Hold on. We had to cancel the event because the book was racist, systemic racism. But the bottom line is that a book makes some money, so we gotta reschedule. Okay, just give it 3 weeks. Give it 3 weeks. It'll be okay. It'll be 3 weeks, and I bet the crowd will still be there because they don't really care anyway because it's just a damn book. Sorry, and it's something for your kids to read. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, your kids are stupid anyway. You can't read. You can't look. They can't even spell. It's okay. It's okay. The parents don't realize this. They can't even spell, and you give them 85 just for spelling their name with the first 3 letters. Sorry. Back to Jim. And if you didn't like it, call in. You didn't like what I just said, call in, okay? I'm going to insult the parents out there today. Jim's going to be the nice guy. I'm going to insult the hell out of you parents because you know why? Your kids can't even spell their first name. Their first name. You call them Tom, and the first 3 letters are T, the alphabet O, you can't even spell that last letter. Tom is your name, you dumb. All right, back to Jim. If you feel that insulting and you feel like you have such a need that you need to communicate with me because I'm being racist, you call this number, 202-684-6955. If you have any disgruntlements, call this number, 202-684-6955. If you got an itch and you got a scratch, 202-684-6955. If you don't believe a book should be thrown out in the library, call 282-684-6955. If you believe these books need to be removed, 202-684-6955. Hey, guess what? I read those books. I must be dumb, stupid, and ignorant. Or maybe it's just you people out there that think you know so damn much. Call the number. Rebuttal us. Or rebuttal me, I don't care. Odin out. Go for it, Jim.
I mean, it is a hot topic. I mean, before I actually did a little research and went into the ideas of what are our kids actually exposed to in terms of school public libraries, the books that they have access to. I had never really given thought to that. And then doing some research and then pulling up this article from the Washington Post, it was like, oh my goodness, this is a plethora. I mean, these are just examples, but there's plethoras upon plethoras of books that from old books from the 1960s that are still in school public libraries that do have racial overtones, racist kind of overtones to it, or what would they say? They would call those stereotypes. that today, I mean, wouldn't be really accepted in today's times and things like that. So
Hey,
let's
Jim,
see.
they got rid of Dr. Seuss, man. Come on. What kind of stereotype do you got to put on that one? Because you're a comic book character, little cartoon, something of a hand description, and you're going to say that a hand-drawn character is now a racist. I thought Big
Yeah,
Bird was a racist. Big Bird, for us black people, we say Big Bird. You what's up, Big Bird? That means you're a tall dummy. What's up, Big Bird? What? But see, I don't know. I mean, we can get rid of Sesame Street. Yeah,
yeah.
they got Big Bird. Big Bird, that's racist. Ain't a racist thing to call somebody. What's up, Big Bird? Or I'm trying to give you you all out there a hint on how beautiful it is that we can now describe everybody as racist. I mean, hell, even Elon Musk is racist. He wants to change the color of Twitter from blue to blue. All right, back to you. Yeah, you, Jim.
So oh my goodness. This is a good one today. This is definitely a great topic today. So let's see. There's also in this article, they mention this book, The Complete Moss. The Complete Moss, that's Maus by Art Spiegelman, right? And so they mention in the Washington Post article that this book is about this black and white graphic novel, gives a raw, unsparing depiction of the Holocaust. Nazi oppressors are rendered as cats, their victims as mice. The story details atrocities committed during Adolf Hitler's Third Reign, including the killing of infants and use of gas chambers and forced labor. It is based on the experience of the author's parents during the Holocaust. So that's another book that's mentioned in this. Is Moss by Art Spiegelman in the Washington Post article here. So they also say why critics object. It says in January, Tennessee school district banned use of the text in middle schools. Officials cited profanity, nudity of cartoon animals, and the depiction of violence and suicide. One school board member pointed to scenes in which a father talks about his son losing his virginity and where a woman cuts herself with a blade. So this is one of the stories that's also put on this article, Moss by Art Spiegelman.
Oh, hold on. Now, since we're banning books, Jim, and you just described several books that actually make reference to stories in the Bible.
Yeah.
While we're at it, let's go ahead and ban the Bible. You know why? I'm sorry, people. I got to go. If I'm going there, I'm going all the way there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like my man, Tricky Dick. Hold on. Just think about that name, Tricky Dick. Y'all got to scrub that out of history, too, while you're at it. But you might as well ban the Bible. You got murder. You got sex. You got incest. You got men having sex with men. Women having sex with women. You got men taking their firstborn and women taking their firstborn and having sex with you. You had angels coming down having sex with men and women. You had people doing sacrifices in the name of a god. So, I mean, didn't you just have a sacrifice in that book? Let me think about it. Then you got mass murder, genocide, unwilling God to accept the rights of humanity. So you know what he's going to do? He's going to flood the earth. Isn't that mass genocide? Okay. Man, I'm telling you, you people got to use some intelligence. If you're going to start banning, you better ban from the beginning. And I'm not talking about just the Bible. You got to ban the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to listen, if we're going to get rid of the shebang, let's get rid of it real good. And look, and those sci-fi fanatics out there, you got to get rid of them dragons fighting. And the dogs that are running down the street, 101 Dalmatians, Man, listen, I'm gonna tell you the truth, okay? But I gotta let you know this. I want you people to understand me. Please understand me. You gotta get rid of 101 Dalmatians. That's animal abuse. Goodbye, Jim.
So, oh my goodness. So, yes, that's what that book's about. And of course, we covered why critics object to this particular book. In terms of officials had cited profanity, nudity of cartoon animals, depiction of violence and suicide, and how one board member pointed to a scene in which a father talks about with his son about losing his virginity, and where a woman cuts herself with a blade. So that's another one.
Jim, do you remember back in the day when we used to look forward to seeing a rated R movie? I mean, rated
Yeah.
R movies were like, that was the shiznix, man. That means you moved up in time. And you know, I mean, they had everything every little boy needed. You know, they had the girls walking around with some boobies. You know, you had the guys cursing quite a bit, like I do every day. And last but not least, you have one of the greatest things about rated R movies. You had Murder, Death, Kill. Murder, Death. Oh, wrong TV show. That was Demolition Man, wasn't it? All right, back to you, Jim. Demolition Man. That's it. Murder, Death, Kill. I'll never forget that. Murder, Death, Kill. Murder, Death, Kill.
Murder, Death, Kill.
Yeah. Are you going to go back in time and remove the movies too? Leave Demolition Man. It foreshadows Arnold Schwarzenegger becoming president of the United States, which I told people later it was going to be Elon Musk. But we could talk about that later. All right, back to you.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Elon is just, he said he's going to purchase Coca-Cola and put the original stuff back in Coca-Cola.
You mean cocaine? Oh, I'm sorry. God
He
damn
said
it.
that's. I'm going to buy back Coca-Cola and put the stuff back in it.
Oh, yeah. You know
Elon
something?
Musk.
I'm down for him, man. He knows exactly the makings of a good movie. Or a good, I mean, not good movie. A good drink. I'm tired of drinking my goodness drinks. You know, I want something that's gonna give me some pep in my step. Damn it. I mean, these 5-hour energy drinks don't do what I need to do. I mean, 5-hour energy. I got the B12, 10,000%. 0 calories, 0 sugar, Aki pomegranate stuff. No, I don't want that. I need stuff that's really going to put the pep back in my step. You know what I'm saying? All right, Jim, back to you, bro. Give them some more books before we start talking about the topless dancers that go into schools.
Oh, my goodness. Let's see. And they also have it listed here as one of the books is on this Washington Post article is it's a 1619 Project, a new original story by Nicole Hannah Jones in the New York Times Magazine. The 1619 Project by Nicole Hannah Jones. What is this book about? They mentioned the 1619 Project. First, a special issue of the New York Times Magazine, and then a book posted it that 1619, the year enslaved Africans first arrived in what would become the United States, might be considered the founding of the nation, not the commonly celebrated 1776. The project seeks to reframe American history, making explicit that slavery is the foundation on which this country is built. It includes an opening essay by Hassan Jones, looking at American history from a Black perspective and examining her own place in the American story. Subsequent chapter.
Jim. Hold on. You trying to tell me that they gonna say that America was created in 1619, and then you got a black person who wrote a book for the 1619 Project, whatever, and is gonna find about her place in American history. you're living part of American history. But now you trying to find your place. That means you're trying to erase something. What you hiding? What you hiding? I want to know. I mean, I got to go buy this book. In fact, you know something? I ain't giving them my money. I can't do it, Jim. I mean, these people are crazy out there, Jim. I got to say it, man. Think about it literally. You want to erase history. You want to change history. You want to take everything out that was there. And you're going to talk about a book that is the only place for literary writers to express themselves. But you're going to make it a book that says
Yeah.
racism, sexism. It's got too much of sex in there. I mean, hell, I read Fanny Hill, birth date 1914. I had a copy of it at my mom's house when it burned down. Fanny Hill. Now, if it that had sex in it, but it's not the sex that you think it is. I mean, your kids are walking around watching videos on the internet. You know, the Pornhub videos.com. And they are enjoying themselves on a constant basis with their little friends. But you're going to talk about a book.
Yeah.
Okay. You know something? You're the most illiterate people out there. You parents out there should all go find yourselves a new place to consider yourself human. You're not paying attention. Your concern is a book, and your kid's sitting there watching Pornhub and wrangling himself right in front of you, and you're wondering, well, he's just expressing himself. You wake up, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, you are woke. I forgot that. Okay, Jim, go ahead, man. Just go ahead. I want to hear about the 1619 Project book because, I mean, how you gonna find your place in history when you are walking in history? You made history by writing that damn book. I bet you're the only author out there in your family that could write that damn book. Jim is a history. Look, Jim is a living piece of history. He's got books, and he's getting ready to have a movie. Wake up, everybody. That's called history. Now, what he does with it is what he does with it. It's a fact of life. But go ahead, Jim. I can't stop talking because, you know, something. I just had this damn shot of this damn B12 here, man. And it's really getting to me. It's getting to me. It's making me want to just tell these people off a little bit. Go ahead. Oh, by the way, your call-in number is 202-684-6955. Or just go ahead and, yeah, everybody crack up because I'm cracking up too. You see how stupid it is? I mean, if that's the case, I can go and talk about the book of, Ezekiel in the Bible? Won't you read that? I bet you found some good shit in that motherfucker. Bye.
Real good.
Real good. Oh. You think Jonah was the only one inside that well? Bye, guys.
That's right. I mean, it's a lot. There's so much more to it. You know, I mean, we're talking about books that are in school libraries that parents and families are looking to ban due to certain content. I mean, to some, like we've already covered, some of these books go back to 1961. I mean, and up to the present. I mean, there's a whole gamut of things. But I will say, in terms of this book, the reason that they were saying this book in particular had a lot of critics wanted to go against it, was saying that in the article, Washington Post now, conservatives, including former President Donald Trump, says it paints an overly negative view of American history. The project also has been criticized by some historians for certain factual errors, such as the assertion that protecting the institution of slavery was a prime motivator for the colonists who declared independence from Britain.
Oh, hold on. Let's tell the truth, okay, people, for 1 minute. We all know that most of the slaves were brought on ships. The ships were paid for by people of the, how can I say, the cultural background of Hebrewism or Hebrew ideology. And the most of the farms in America during the time of the Revolutionary War was paid for by people with the last name Stein. So when you talk about American history, you also got to question the fact of, hold up, Stein? Yeah, I
Yep.
said Stein, but people don't read their history books and read where all the manufactured cotton and grains and stuff were going. But we won't talk about them because they're part of the Judeo-Christian ideology. But we won't say that they, really pushed slavery into the United States. We're going to blame it on that man over there. I'm sorry, but you know something? You point the finger, you call a spade, and if you really want a good book for teaching your kid about sets, you should try the book Joy of Sets back in the 1980s. Yeah, I don't think they're going to ban that book. You know what I mean? Joy of Sets. I mean, I used to love the pictures in it when I was a little kid, like a comic book, man. Oh, doggy. But I bet you'll ban that too. How about this book? Okay, I got a better book for you, and it doesn't involve you going on the internet because that's all you people know how to do is go on the internet. Google. I don't use Google. I use DuckDuckGo because Google is what's the word I want to use? Racist. Well, I mean, everybody got the right to call something racist nowadays. I mean, why can't I just call Google racist? Why can't I call Microsoft Windows racist? I mean, it's not made for black men.
Yeah.
And the mouse is not made, and the computer mouse that they give you is not made for right-handers. I mean, not made for left-handers. So that's racist. And because it has a monitor in front of you, it's not adjusted to the black man's eyesight. So, I got to get closer to the screen sometime and move back. So that's racist too. You know something? Maybe the light bulb industry, Edison is a racist. Because, I mean, he doesn't give you 200-watt light bulbs. He only gives you the most 100. That's racist. I don't use, look, because, if it's 200 watts, it's called a spotlight. And police are racist.
It is called a spot.
I hope everybody's catching where I'm going. So I guess the world is racist. And being woke is really racist because they want to change everything that's not racist. Am I woke today? I don't know. Maybe I'm living in a dream. Go ahead, Jim. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at.
This is some good stuff. I'm telling you, man. This is some good stuff. Hey, and it gets even better. So the places that this particular book is banned in is all schools in Florida and in Texas. So this book has been banned in all school districts in Florida and in Texas.
How conservative are you?
This is the new original story. Once again, the 1619 Project created by Nicole Hannah Jones. She's actually winner of the Pulitzer Prize, too. Interesting enough.
Isn't that weird that people are winning these prizes and not the common Joe? I mean, they don't win them once. They win them twice, 3 times in a row sometimes. Ain't it kind of interesting? Hold on. Can I ask you a question? Let's go on the internet and look and see what color this person is. I don't even have to. Go ahead. Because I already know. I know. You know something? I would like to give a celebration to them for banning Aunt Jemima. Her look on the pancake syrup, I'm really and the pancake box. I like to give y'all a salute because that was the middle finger, just letting you know. Because you know something, you took Miss Green's image, who had a lifetime contract with the company, to remove her. That's a lifetime contract. You're not supposed to be able to remove her image for nothing. But that's okay because, she was one of the wealthiest black women from the era of the 1800s to 1923 when she died. You are not going to deny her. But see, we called her Aunt Jemima because she was a lady. And you ought to see that lady. Oh, hold on. They made her darker than she was. I forgot about that. Ain't that racist?
Uncle Ben, too. We can't forget about Uncle Ben. They pulled him off.
Shoot. Hey, can I ask you a question? Why is that all the Southerners? They get, they took all their images off. Uncle Ben got taken off. Aunt Jemima got taken off. Kentucky Colonel. Oh, he's still on there.
Still there.
Still there. Oh, he white. Oh, I'm sorry. That's racism for you. If you want to call it the ball a ball. And he wasn't even. Never mind. I'm gonna leave it alone. Bye, everybody. I hear. Talk to Jim. I can't even get there with y'all today.
So now they do have the excerpt, I should say, from after that they were talking about the schools that it's been, and then they do put an excerpt on the Washington Post, and this is what the excerpt says after talking about that particular book. The expert says, the United States is a nation founded on both an ideal and a lie. Our Declaration of Independence, approved on July 4th, 1776, proclaims that all men are created equal and endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights. But the white men who drafted those words did not believe them to be true for the hundreds of thousands of black people in their midst. A right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness did not include fully 1/5 of the new country. Despite being violently denied the freedom and justice promised to all, Black Americans believe fervently in the American creed. Though centuries of Black resistance and protest, we have helped the country live up to its founding ideas. That's the they call this the excerpt that they included in this Washington Post article, which is very interesting.
I don't even want to go there, because if I go there, Jim, it's gonna piss the black people off again. Hey, how about this? Okay, let's try this. Black people captured the people of Madagascar. Okay, and that's off the coast of Africa. Yes, there were people living there, and the reason why they captured it was because they wanted a new fishing port for food. You know, they had game, and it was a new place to capture. Now, break that down to literary terms, according to the book. So, Africa is a continent. Madagascar is an island off the coast of Africa. But Africa, the continent, also encompasses Egypt. So, but you now call it Middle East. I'm still trying to find Middle West, Middle North, Middle South. So we're having issues with that one already, because you just screwed up my geographic ideology, because I mean, you called it Middle East. I'm still looking for North, South, West. All right. So, and the problem I have is that the Africans that were brought to America by their cultural ancestral leaders who were bought and paid for it, and got rich off of it. They got rich. I say it. They got rich off of it. They brought them on ships. Most of them died, thrown in the water. Ships lanes, you can still find it today, because you see where the sharks were laying, because they were just eating away. They had freefood.com. It was a buffet, okay? Now they get here in America, and these people are not considered a man according to the Constitution. Well, let me define this, okay? I'm gonna hurt some feelings today. You are bought property. Do you consider your dog a man? Okay. Generations past, you still have that same dog, right? Sorry, reality bites. Now, it was until later they decided to say, you're a quarter or a half a human or whatever, or a man or whatever. But do you even think that it takes time for a slave to gain rights? I mean, look at Egypt, to the slaves they had during the time. They were not called Egyptians. But we're in a culture where we have to have everything right here, right now, because I'm here on your land and you got a constitution and I'm here. You're going to make me a man according to your constitution. No, I don't have to do that. Things have to be settled. I have to decide. We have to talk, and we're going to have to negotiate how we're going to make you a human. All men are created equal according to the Constitution. You are still a slave, bought and paid for, property, not a man. Later, they decided to give, the South did at least, more of a rights to the slave to slowly convert them into humans. because they were bought property. Oh, by the way, those people that I was telling you about earlier didn't like that. That's why up north they decided, hey, hold on, we're not getting our food supply, we're not getting our cotton, so we can make our tweeds, so we can look doshing, I say doshing. And where do you think all the tea products were made for the Tea Party? Down south. Oh, hold on. Did you know that the jeans,
that's something, right?
All this was made down south, not up north. Why you think they had a problem? The Union had a problem with the Confederacy. Let's get some truth in there, because people don't get it. So that's why the real reason for the war is because they weren't getting supplies. Hey, once you said, we want this, I said, screw you. What you going to do? Well, it's time to go to war. Why? Because, we're going to spread some propaganda and some lies, and we're going to get these slaves to revolt against you. Well, they were already getting, the slaves, most of them knew they were getting freedom. And, I mean, why would you want to go on that Underground Railroad to go to New York? Excuse my cough. To New York. Yeah, the state of New York. Go to Webster. Look in the town of Webster, New York. Go to Webster, New York, and they call it Canada. Why would you want to go to upstate New York, where it had lake effect snow, or Chicago, Illinois, in that region? Lake effect snow right along the Great Lakes, or right along Lake Michigan, Lake Superior. Why would you want to be there? And they called it Canada because you dumb. You didn't know geography. They didn't get you across the border. The truth.
Yeah.
People don't realize this. Yeah, they got them to Canada. No, they didn't get them to Canada. They had to cross over when they found where the border was, and these guys ran because they said, hey, hold on, there's too much snow here. Shit, I'd rather be down south where it's warm, where I can get me some food, because I'm starving here. Why are you starving? Because there ain't nothing growing out here in the snow.
That's right. I mean,
they lied to you. They lied to the slaves, saying they're going to give them freedom. They were right there in the north, more slaves up north than there were in the south, and when the south released slavery. Ain't that a shame?
mm-hmm.
But see, you people out there want to believe that bullshit. Jim ain't going to let you believe no bullshit. And guess what? Keep banning books. I want you to start with the Torah, and then I want you to work your way around to the Bible, and then I want you to work way around to your grandmother's handwriting on that Bible. Well, burn it. Your great grandma's name is in that Bible. Burn it. I got a Bible that's over 300 years old. Burn it.
Mm-mm.
Try me. Go ahead, Jim. Because these people, they crying racism. They crying segregation. They're crying. And we're supposed to be moving into we're in 2022, post COVID. Well, it's not really post COVID because we got worse COVID out there now than everything else, and people are still not getting it. We got more issues out here today than we had in the 1600s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're supposed to be moving toward like a climate of more when we talk about diversity and inclusion and things of that nature. I mean, that's where we're supposed to be moving toward. I mean, but from some of these books itself, and from I'm actually surprised the Washington Post actually put it out like this. They have like all these numbered books.
Did they have To Kill a Mockingbird? I have a question. Did they have?
Yes, that was one of the books we covered.
Okay, you remember that was a book. That was the book most noted for people that were what do they call them? Multiple killers. Extremists. That was what it was known for. Now it's racist.
Yeah.
Now it's racist.
Yeah.
Okay. You know something? You're all smoking the same shit. Y'all need to switch over. I mean, you parents out there, you're allowing these people to dictate your books. You think it's you? No, it's not you. It's the people are dictating what you want. Listen, they're dictating what you can read yourself. I mean, just wait. You can't even go to a public library to go get To Kill a Mockingbird. Oh, you're an adult. This sounds more like Book burning. It's something what the Christians do when they said, we gotta get rid of these books because they don't celebrate the Lord Jesus Christ, and we don't believe that anything that doesn't celebrate the Lord Jesus Christ need to be burned. It's witchcraft. It's a sin. Yeah, we in old England, baby. Wake up. All right, Jim. I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut the hell up because I'm just a little irritated because Aunt Jemima has been removed out of history. And I mean, people don't even remember what she looked like. I mean, me and my friend, we were putting up posts on Twitter today about, Miss Green, her real name, and
Yep.
it was kind of touching that this woman was given a lifetime contract, which made her one of the richest women in America during the 1800s till her death in 1923. Think about that. She was one of the richest people in this country.
Generational wealth.
And hold on, here's a good one. I wonder if the royalties trickled down to her family members. Ooh. Make you think, don't it? All right.
Generational wealth. It definitely supposed to. It's definitely supposed to. All that should.
Go ahead, brother, man, because I'm just pissed off at the way this country's going.
All right, so we'll do this, and we'll finish with this book that is also on the Washington Post too. It's noted. It's called "Entangle Makes Three" by Justin Richardson and Peter Parnell. That's the name of the book. What is this book about? This children's book tells a story of Roy and Silo, two male penguins at the Central Park Zoo in Manhattan who paired as a couple. The penguins sing to each other, wind their necks around one another, and sleep together on a nest of stones. Silo and Roy can't produce an egg, so they take turns sitting on a rock. A zookeeper, noticing this, brings them an egg that needs to be cared for. And Roy and Silas take turns sitting on it until they hatch a baby penguin, Tango. Tango's daddies teach her to swim, play with her, and cuddle with their baby at night. All right. Why the critics object to this? This is noted in the Washington Post. They say the story is anti-family, promotes homosexuality, and is unsuitable for young readers. The book has been regularly challenged over more than a decade. So that is interesting. And this book, once again, is called "Entangle Makes Three" by Justin Richardson and Peter Parnell, illustrated by Henry Cole. So that's one of the books that the Washington Post also put into this article. Places where it's been challenged is the Independence, Kansas Public Library, 2020. So, that is another book that I guess, when they also talk about it being anti-family, you kind of have two penguins who are trying to, at least from what they said in terms the Washington Post says what the book is about penguins wanting to have a family, want to sit on egg and do what penguins do. Sit on eggs, wait till their kids hatch, take care of their kids, kind of similar to what bald eagles do, kind of similar to what the finch will do. It's kind of similar to what pigeons do, sparrows do. Doves do the same thing. They sit on their eggs and wait for them to hatch, and then hopefully they want to have a happy family and keep themselves being gobbled up by some other animal if they can help it, because survival in the wild is also often turbulent. So, even when we talk about the dynamics of this situation where we're talking about penguins and how they criticize and object to this, saying that the story is anti-family and promotes homosexuality and is unsuitable for young readers. So we're talking about elementary, middle school. They are saying this has to be banned. We need to take this book from the shelves of the school public libraries and do away with it forever. I mean, we've only covered a small plethora of books, but I mean, looking at the overall picture, I'm sure there's lots more books that definitely I there's, I'm sure there's tons of other books that need to be looked at and have some kind of this kind of realization that yeah, daddy and mommy is at work. Little Bobby goes to school. He marches into the library. He sees a book about a book that such as this, which people think is about anti-family, or he picks up another book that maybe has sexual content within its context of the book. Little Bobby, the middle schooler, goes and picks up that book and starts to read it. Now he has another plethora of knowledge within him. Goes back home. Parents don't understand. How did little Bobby find out about this kind of sexual conduct? How did he find out about it? Little Bobby keeps it a secret and doesn't say, and just says, hey, yes, I have knowledge. I have understanding, and my parents don't know and have a clue where I got it from. So, I mean, this also adds into the context of how kids are so exposed in terms of the internet as well. We cannot have disconnected to the internet. I mean, now kids are walking into public school libraries, and they're able to access a plethora of things just similar to how they would do on the internet. And these plethora of things are influencing them in their decision making in terms of behaviors and things of that nature. So I mean, the Washington Post did a great job with how they really came about with each of the books and explained not only what the book is about, but they also explained why people are critical and object to those books, and also would do a little excerpt that would explain further in further detail about why it might be objected to. And I thought it was very interesting, especially in terms of the last book we talked about, when we went over the new origin story, the 1619 Project, which was created by Nicole Hannah Jones, and how the critics objected to that, saying it paints an overly negative view of American history, and that the project has been criticized by some historians for certain factual errors. So if we're talking about factual errors, I mean, one of the factual errors we would definitely have to address is Christopher Columbus discovering America. You have to have a factual error in that regard too.
They don't want to touch that. That's going to irritate the Italians.
Mm-hmm. Now, of course,
hold on. Christopher Columbus wasn't Italian.
wait. I mean, I know. I mean, I do as a doctorate student, I do a lot of research and reading, and it's interesting because we're talking about these books and things that that the schools want to have banned from public school libraries. And I remember reading one book in particular. They Came Before Columbus by Ivan Sertima, and it was an excerpt or a book about the things that were happening in America before Columbus came aboard. And they had actually an excerpt of Christopher Columbus making a thing in his journal when he made his trip back across the seas about what he had seen over here. And it was mentioning how the Indians up north were saying that they traded with these these individuals, these people from up and down the Mississippi River down south. They were up and down the Mississippi River down south, and they traded with them, and they would have like silver spear, like um, all kind of gems and jewelry that were attached to their spears and things of that nature. And actually, Chris Columbus took some of those items back with him across overseas. And it was noted that a lot of those individuals at that time were actually people of color, black people, who were actually already here before anybody, Columbus, even got over here. So, I mean, I do a lot of research and reading, and I always find it interesting when we talk about different types of books and things of that nature, and the things that happen in terms of the knowledge we gain from books. Is always good to read and have a better understanding of material that you do read. And in terms of when you talk about educational things, it's also important to know truth from facts or truth from fiction. I mean, we want our kids to be instilled with the truth of the matters and the facts about things that happen, and we don't want them to also be exposed to things that could corrupt their mind in terms of them just enjoying their childhood, them enjoying their youthful years, instead of being exposed to all this stuff that's more adult content, and then having that influence their decision making. And then we wonder why little Bobby is acting the way he is, and things of that nature. So I mean, it's a lot of in-depth things to cover, but I think in terms of what we've covered today, we've definitely covered. Thanks to the Washington Post, I was glad I was able to pull that and see that article itself. And if anybody else did want to further read through that article, it's the Washington Post, and it's an article based on education, and it's about these. It says these books school systems don't want you to read, and why. That's the name of the article from the Washington Post. So I mean, if anybody wanted to further, they do have other books here that are noted here, but I mean, we went from The Mockingbird to Kill a Mockingbird to so many other titles. So if you're interested, you can go visit the website or visit the article yourself and see the other books that are included among those. And also reminding you guys that I'm also a chosen book author, in my children's social skill building series, The Adventures of Harold from the Hood, a social skill building series experience, is available on Amazon. Both books, the first two books in the series, The Adventures of Harold from the Hood, A Trip to the Park, available on Amazon, and The Adventures of Harold from the Hood, Friends Like Different Things, are both available on Amazon. And they both look into talking about diversity, inclusion, and things of that nature, and get along and things of that nature. So, I mean, this has been a hot topic. I think we might even be able to extend some of this stuff into some other shows as well. And
I think we can extend it into something even more interesting. If next week we could talk about why the teachers want your kids to walk around in dresses in the classroom, your male students to walk around in dresses. Where do they get the change?
That is
Who's going to watch my child change their clothes? Did I give you right to change my child to change clothes in your classroom? I think you people out there need to wake the hell up. I mean, your kids are changing clothes. I mean, these are grade schoolers, not middle school or high school. These are graders. I mean, these are little tiny tots, and they get to change clothes in front of these big, hairy men and women. And they get to change into little outfits that they want to wear. I mean, that's a good topic. I'm sorry, but I mean, I think you people out there really deserve the best that we can give you.
I agree. I do agree.
Oh, don't forget to buy the book Harold in the Hood, okay? But that has no little kids changing clothes and becoming monkeys or sheep or cats. It doesn't have none of that information in it. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to educate you just a little bit on what's really going on in America. And I mean, Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492. And he was thousands of miles away, but he discovered it. Yeah, and don't piss off the Italians. Oh, remember where he's don't piss off the Italians.
Don't do it.
Don't you do it. Don't do it, man. Don't you do it.
Do it. Don't you do it.
Little Louis come find you. Don't you tell him that Christopher Columbus was not Italian.
Oh my goodness. Right?
I think history needs to be rewritten somehow, and it should be rewritten into accuracy. But honestly, when you look at these books, I think these books need to be what's the word? The word of the day. These books
refurbished.
Oh yeah, refurbished. I'm gonna use. I ride with that like a refurbished computer. Just refurbish the books. Go out there, buy these banned books, read them to your children, please. I mean, I'm sorry if little Junior become a homicidal maniac after reading To Kill a Mockingbird. Hell, we all had to read it. After reading Fanny Hill, little Lucy wants to be swinging from a stripper pole. It's okay. It's okay. By reading Joya Sets, little Bob, little Lucy, and the rest of them go in the back room and they're playing mommy, daddy, or doctor, patient, or it's okay. At least they're doing the right thing. It's okay. It's okay. It's all
right.
It's called learning experience. See, what these books did was give you the ability to learn and to experience. And hide and go freak when we were kids running around, playing hide and go freak. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of things that kids do, but the bottom line is, why are you neglecting your children the right to explore and learn? Yes, let them explore and learn, and stop forcing them to be in dresses, the males, or the tomboys. Don't tell them that you're no longer a girl, or people grow out of things. Stop forcing issues that don't belong. Let people be. Let the humans be. Let the animals be. Don't argue about it. Just let it go. Let them grow. Let them explore. Let them become. Because you never know what you're stopping by telling them you need to go ahead and cut your little wee-wee off.
Yep.
So that, because we decided you're better as a female.
And that's some of the issues. I mean, the middle school, elementary, high school, those are the things that are hot topics in today's, with a lot of the administration across the country. Those are definitely hot topics.
Yeah, and
I mean,
the thing I was going to say was, if my man here wasn't sick, he'd have been the first on a lot of these topics. And I'm going to tell you, honestly, we scoped these stuff out a while ago. But he's been sick. He's been doing his tours, doing his book tours. Y'all should buy his book. Been doing his book tours and things. But, the idea that you are now letting the school parent the child, and you as the parent needs to sit down and shut the hell up, is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, you just let government control your household. We let government control our ideological state of being. You let government control your beliefs.
Yep.
Jeez, y'all some weak people out there. Weak. Spineless. You're spineless parents. I would be screaming at the top of the mountain if you're going to make me bow down as a parent.
Yep.
I just don't know where. Jim, I'm sorry, man. I mean, I like shits and giggles, especially during this topic, because the parents, they're weak. They're weak, not just weak-minded. They're weak individuals. Y'all soft, and you don't stand up for your own child. What are you worth? I mean, if I found a parent that's like that, I mean, back in the old days, we used to smack little punks around like that. And that's what they getting smacked around. Because, Don't call it bullying. Oh, you bullying me. Well, guess what? You've already been
Yep.
bullied, subvertly bullied. You lost all control of your child. Literally, you parents, you haven't figured it out. You've lost control of what your child can read, how that child reads, and what that
Mhm.
child read. You can't
Yep.
do nothing, and your child can't spell a three-letter name. T T. I mean, where is literacy in this situation?
Yeah.
Your teachers
There
are
isn't.
supposed to teach, educate, and prepare this child for what they need. And look at you, parents. You're not reinforcing nothing. You don't know what's going on in the classroom. You're sitting there with your own world, with the cell phone in your hand, playing
Yep.
putting colors on a damn matching screen, or playing a game, or chatting all day. You've lost control. You lost your
Yeah.
you lost your ability to be a parent. I mean, I see why the government's taking your child away from you. Well, just wait, just wait. Well, it's not gonna be done on this at this time. Okay, it's not gonna be done right now. But guess what? When
Yeah.
your child has a child, your grandbaby will belong to the USGOV or social services. Choose one. And you think social
Yeah.
services is sweet and innocent? They making money off of you. You're the next farmed kid. You know what I'm saying? You're the next child that's going out to be part of the I am the new slave of this culture. I'm going to be taught, trained, and given the right to
Mhm.
overrule parents like they do today. Look at you now, kids. Y'all running around. Y'all got crowns of around your head and jewels around you and a cell phone that costs over $2,000.
Yep.
What do your parents got? We got the same thing, but we got to pay all the bills. Well, shut the hell up, mommy. I don't care what you do. Go in there and watch your game or TV show. Hit Netflix. You can watch Netflix, mommy. They got some, woman on woman action and man on man action. You go ahead in there, mommy, and go watch that movie. Have you noticed, anybody noticed that almost 80% of the Netflix films have either lesbian or gay scenes? No one's taking
Yeah.
note. That's why people are moving away from Netflix. And Netflix is now jumping the price up.
Yep.
Wake up.
More content.
They got good content now. Shoot, back in the day, I thought Joy Sets gave me the content. Well, these kids got it cheaper. They don't have to pay for it. They got Pornhub. All right, back to Jim. Jim, you can close it out. Do what you want, man. I don't know. I'm just sitting here trying to wake parents up, piss them off a little bit. I thought setting fires in your ass would get you to stand up and say, "Oh hell no!" Or as a parent, you would say, "You got me fogged up, yo. I ain't playing
That's
that
right.
game." Well, next week I'm gonna play a clip from a parent that said, "I ain't playing that. You got me messed up. I mean, you gonna have my little boy walking around in a dress, a dress.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna go get my 12 gauge. I'll be right back." And I bet he went to go get some of that Elon Musk Coca-Cola. He goes, "I didn't drink it. I snorted it. God damn it." And I'm going to get ready for real edification. I'm going to teach these teachers a lesson. You wait. It's going to be at a school near you. Parents attack. The Empire strikes back.
That's
Back to
right.
you, Jim.
I mean, this has definitely been an explosive realization of like public school libraries, looking at from a different perspective, a different scope in terms of a lot of the books that you'll walk in there and you'll see scattered amongst the many bookshelves. And our kids are walking by them and picking ones out that they see, oh, that caught my eye. Oh, this one caught my eye. And they continue to pick these books up and be you know, exposed in some sense to a lot of material that they shouldn't be exposed to. So how does the Department of Education rectify a lot of these things when they're telling families or having families complain about these things, and then they're just basically closing the door on these families in some sense and saying, okay, no, we're not going to ban this book or that book or the other book, but we'll keep this book, and that book. So I mean, we see the Department of Education, they have their own agenda to what they want to perceive, and like we were saying, like it's all mind control in terms of what they're controlling, what your children are learning or able to be exposed to in terms of learning and reading and things that they do read. They're completely on the crust of trying to control all those elements of what kids are reading. So I mean, hot topic today. Remember, in the bigger scheme of things, to always try to understand that your kids are learning. Middle school, elementary, they're still developing. Their minds are still developing. So they need to be able to live their lives as kids if they can not be exposed to all this stuff, which is probably close to impossible because you have it on TV, you have it on internet, you have it in school libraries. So it's almost impossible. But we can try as parents. You guys, the parents out there, should try to at least limit and understand and keep on top of what your kids are looking at. What are they exposed to? What are they looking at on the internet? What are they looking at in those school libraries? What are they looking at on TV? Check them out. See what when they're doing all that tick clock stuff, making all those tick clock videos. Why are they making them? What are they making them about? Be more curious into what's going on so that we can hopefully have some of these kids be able to be kids and not be exposed to all these things.
Hey, we can get them outside and get them dirty. We used to dig in the dirt back in the good days. We used to dig to the center of the earth. Well, guess what? Those days are over. We got boards. We got Minecraft. And you parents out there are stupid now that your kids get a shovel or a spoon and go dig and get dirty. How you going to build resistance to disease? How you going to build resistance to anything if you don't get dirty? Get dirty with it, people. Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. But hopefully parents will try to see this segment here as a opening door to trying to be more curious about what their kids are into. And I mean, we always are trying to do better and have parents understand the bigger picture on the Educational Analytical Development Show. And of course, I'm your host, Jim Price, and I'm hoping that everyone has a fabulous rest of their weekend and stay out of trouble. And please see what your kids are doing. Please. Read the Washington Post.
Read. Just no. Try to read. All right. I'm sorry. I pick on parents so much because, it's kind of funny. The illiterate teaching the illiterate. All right. I got to say goodnight because the next show's coming up. And it's Penny Bradley, not far from Pollitt, with Penny and her special guest, Miss Janet Dovey, on the Global Enlightenment Radio Network. I try to do the, the Richard Nixon on the Global Enlightenment Radio Network. Yeah. Say goodnight, Jim.
To all those across the country and anywhere else you are, you guys all have a great evening or rest of your weekend and stay blessed. And just know, I mean, we are here. You guys are for your kids. Promote your kids. Do your new things for your kids. Make sure your kids are, being kids, able to be kids.